Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I read a lot of books, I sing, I go to the theatre, I work at a theatre, I do a bit of everything. And today is Series Sunday, which means that I am talking about books that are in a series of books or series adjacent. This is the Big Sky collection by CJ Box. I started these books because I discovered the TV series Big Sky on Disney Plus and was completely hooked. And when I saw in the opening credits that it was based on a series of books, I was just like, I need to find these books. So I will say that the first book in the Big Sky collection is kind of adjacent to what happens in the TV series. Basically, it's the introduction of a certain character which you do see in at least the first episode of Big Sky, the TV series. But yeah, so this just starts off the introduction to a particular character that carries on into the rest of the Big Sky and the Highway section of these stories. This book is called 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye. In the Big Sky collection there's 3 books to start off with. So there's 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye, Blue Heaven and Back of Beyond. After that there's The Highway, which, because those first 3, the Big Sky collection, I've got on BorrowBox. I've got The Highway on Kindle, and then I've also got Badlands as an audiobook. And yeah, it's a whole thing. I think The Highway is the book that's based on the first season. So I'll read you the blurb for 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye, talk to you about 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye, and yeah, I think this is one we're just going to have to do on a book-by-book basis, because it's, even though it's part of a series, it's very much independent stories with similar characters, so I think that's the only way to do it. So yeah, let's have a look at that blurb. They are so sorry. They've made a terrible mistake. There's nothing they can do. They have to take your daughter away. You have 3 weeks to say goodbye. After years of trying for a child, Jack and Melissa McGrain adopted a beautiful baby girl. 9 months later, a call from the adoption agency plunges them into every parent's worst nightmare. The father never signed away his parental rights, and now he wants his daughter back. The biological father is a sullen 18-year-old with gangland connections, and even worse is the son of a well-connected federal judge who is prepared to use the full weight of his influence to get what he wants. Together they wage a harrowing campaign of intimidation and harassment aimed at destroying the McGrains before they can fight back. Jack and Melissa know that the boy has no love for his daughter, but what they don't know is why he and the judge want the girl so badly. With 3 weeks until they must legally hand over their baby, just how far outside the law are they prepared to go to find out? I could not put this book down. It's one of those ones where just when you think you know what's going on, it switches on you. It's just like, it's full of twists. So yeah, it's got that kind of investigation. It's not a murder mystery, but it's a mystery, I'll tell you that. It's 384 pages. It was first released in 2010. And it's in a crime thriller, mystery, adventure. So you got Jack and Melissa. It's all done from Jack's point of view, and there are certain points where you're trying to work out what on earth is going on. So at the beginning, you meet Jack and Melissa and their daughter Angelina. You find out they've adopted after a very long period of not being able to have children themselves, and they are perfect. They are happy, and then they get the worst phone call they've ever received in their lives. A message from the adoption agency saying things have gone wrong. We've realised that the father of the child never gave up his rights. He never signed the paperwork. This never happens. And it just starts off a chain of events, which it gets dark. It happens on like a weekend, and when Jack calls back the agency and they're just like, oh no, you need to talk to your lawyer. It's like, well, my lawyer hasn't called me. And so Jack actually confronts his lawyer at home, and the lawyer says, oh, I was going to talk to you on Monday. And there's just Jack just standing in this guy's driveway saying, it would have been too late, because now we're finding out that this judge and his son want to turn up on our doorstep tomorrow. So you waiting till Monday would have been way too late. And it gets into a conversation where they realise that this lawyer's just not working out and they have to go in separate ways. So for the majority of the book, well actually after that meeting, they don't have a lawyer to represent them, which is horrible considering the situation they're put in. But it's just one of those things that it's just like, if they have a good lawyer, they should be able to fight it, because they've had the girl for 9 months. But when you look at like the judge and the son, when they turn up at the house, and you're just like, this boy has absolutely nothing to do with this child. Like, he doesn't want to look at the child, and it's like, it's his father that wants it. The judge, Judge Morland, he's the one that wants the child, not the son. He doesn't want to be a father. And there's the Judge Morland there just going, yeah, he needs to take responsibility, and so we're going to sort all this out. You're just trying to work out what the Morlands' endgame is. It's just like, why do they want this child so badly? Especially when the teenager Garrett obviously wants nothing to do with it. He's like 18 years old. He's very clearly in with the local gangsters, and it's just like, why is this kid being protected? And then throughout the book you find out more and more about the Morlands and their history and the family and the death of the judge's parents, the death of his wife, Garrett's mother, and it takes a very dark turn into after that, because you're just like, when it all comes out at the end, I was completely in shock, as I was just like, how deep does this go? I was even having thoughts just about the American justice system and how protected certain people are. Because it's just like, you hear these stories continuously, just like in television shows, and it's just like, it might just be a case of it's just a common trope, but, or is it coming from an element of truth, where judges are so protected that they can get away with murder? Not literally in this case, because there isn't actually a murder involved. Well, yeah. The main thing is trying to work out what the family wants with Angelina, because, is it Angelina or Angela? What am I doing? It's Angela, isn't it? Oh god, I've got the names Angelina and Angela stuck in my head now, I don't know which one's which. Yeah, it's one of those names. But yeah, just seeing Jack and Melissa band together, and they're just going to go in, we're not going to let this happen. The whole book is done in time, so it's just like 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 5 days, 4 days. It's counting down the days to when they have to say goodbye to their daughter, because the Morlands want this child back. And yeah, how it ties into the Big Sky collection is there a character called Cody Hoyt, who is best friends with Jack. And Cody Hoyt ties into the Big Sky TV series. Highway is book 4? Yeah, I think Highway is book 4, which is when it really gets into what ended up in the television series. But yeah, I was just so invested in this book and trying to figure out how far Jack and Melissa were going to go to get their child back. And looking at that mystery regarding the Morlands and just thinking, well, what did he have anything to do? This is the judge. Did he have anything to do with his parents' death or his wife's death? And why does it seem that his current wife has no idea about what's going on here? Because when Melissa ends up at an event where Judge Morland's current wife is, Melissa talks to the wife about the daughter and asking, like, why do you want my daughter so much? And the description is that the wife just goes white, as if she's seen a ghost, and she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But when they talk to Judge Morland, he's just there going, oh, of course my wife knows about it. And you're just like, wait, there is severe lying happening here. What on earth is going on? And you find a connection to the case that Cody has just been involved in. He's suspended throughout the majority of the book because of something that happens in a courtroom where essentially a paedophile gets let off because of something that Cody did. But then as you go through you realise, oh actually, was somebody else trying to set a certain amount of events in motion in order to get this paedophile off. There is talks about paedophilia and like photos and videos and things, so just pop that out there as a bit of a trigger warning. It's not graphic. You don't actually hear anything in particular about what's on the pictures or on the photos, and the only thing you really hear is that it's family pictures, like somebody's taken pictures at a distance, kind of stalking. It starts off as like all these different little stories, and then you just see the web being weaved, and you're just like, oh wait, no, there's overlapping here, there's connections, and yeah, I just found it so good. It was just having that puzzle and the connection between everything happening, and yeah, just a great introduction for me into these stories. I don't know if there's other books in this world before this. There might possibly be, but yeah, this is just the introduction to Cody Hoyt and then his role going forward, because I think there's a few books that are just dedicated around Cody, and then it goes into the Cassie Duel books, which is all connected to the Big Sky TV series. But yeah, I love a good mystery. What can I say? I've been brought up watching murder mysteries. I was brought up watching like all the Poirots and anything Agatha Christie basically, and you know, just all of it. We're currently watching Death in Paradise reruns. Just anything with a murder mystery in it, you will have me watching it, reading it, whatever. Yeah, I am very intrigued by where this world is going to take me, especially because I know that book 4 is going to take me into the storyline that I watched in Big Sky. In regards to the TV series, I think Series 1 and Series 2 are based on the books. From what I've seen of like the blurbs, I think Season 3 was its own story. I'm not sure how connected to the books that storyline actually was. Maybe they worked in some stories from the books in some of their side stories, but the main thing of Season 3, I haven't seen it in any of the blurbs, so I think they went off book for that. But yeah, this was a really, really good introduction to the world. It's the Big Sky collection, CJ Box, 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye, Blue Heaven and Back of Beyond, all in one. There you go. I think Back of Beyond is the first, is that the first Cody Hoyt one, I think? Yeah, the blurb for Back of Beyond concentrates a lot on Cody from the looks of things, so I think that Back of Beyond is the first proper Cody book. Oh, I really enjoy this. Can you tell? Yeah, so CJ Box's first 3 thrillers. That's hard to say. First 3 thrillers. Say that 10 times fast. CJ Box's first 3 thrillers in one fast-paced dramatic collection. There's your front cover for that collection. But yeah, I realised I couldn't get The Highway on BorrowBox, so then I found it on Amazon Kindle and was just like, I'm just going to buy that. Because considering the fact that I've got 4 books, including the audiobook on BorrowBox, buying one of them wasn't too ridiculous, even when I am saving. Oh, I did have a nice trip to IKEA the other day, that was fun. Cassie Duel. I have basically put together a list in my notes of the order that I need to read them in, basically. Yeah, so you've got number 1 is 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye, 2 is Blue Heaven, 3 is Back of Beyond. Number 4 is The Highway, and then you've got Badlands, which is the one that I've got an audiobook, and then you've got Paradise Valley, The Bitter Roots, and Treasure State. Now, because it goes across 2 different detectives, as I said, Back of Beyond is like the official start of Cody's story, but I'm pretty sure The Highway is the first of the Cassie books. This is going to be an interesting one to get through. Anyway, so yeah, that first book was 3 Weeks to Say Goodbye by CJ Box. I'm really interested in these and I cannot wait to get through them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time with another video, and continue to watch the series Sundays as I read all the different series and get through the rest of these books, hopefully in the right order. I do have my list though. That should help keep me on track. But yeah, so, mwah! Stay safe everybody, love you, bye!